Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chicago Karl. If you like what you see here, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram at chicagokarl.yt. You can find us on Twitter at chicagokarl. Follow us there. Continue to follow our videos when we put them up. And leave a comment down below telling me what you think. Today, as you saw in the thumbnail and the title, we are talking about our AL East 2021 predictions and projections, how we think the AL East is going to shape out this year. Teams in this division, in case you for some reason do not know, are the New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox, Tampa Bay Rays, Baltimore Orioles, and the Toronto Blue Jays. In my opinion, this is probably the best division in baseball. I think it'll be very competitive this year. There's a lot of good teams and good talent here. A lot of teams that I think will be even better in 2 or 3 years from now. And we're going to go over that, and we're just going to talk about my thoughts today. So to start, last place, this should come as a surprise to nobody. We have the Baltimore Orioles. I'm going to predict them with a cool record of about, I'll give them 63 and 99, right around there, maybe 62 and 100. They're not going to win more than 65 games. I'm pretty sure of that. If you look at the roster, it's terrible. You have Chris Davis, who takes up a roster spot. He's analytically one of the worst players in professional baseball. Trey Mancini is a bit of a bright spot. He'll be coming back off of cancer. I don't expect him. He just hit a home run the other day ago, but I don't expect him to be a real game changer for this team. I think he'll be okay. Then we're going to have Ryan Mountcastle, who's going to play first base and maybe a bit of third base. I think he's a good rookie. I think he's the dark horse for a lot of people for Rookie of the Year. And I think he could perform pretty well on an Orioles team that doesn't have much else going for them. They have Michael Franco. He's going to play a bit of third base, might play a bit of second base. I think he'll be a good addition. I don't think he'll put up great numbers, but on this team, there's not much else to really watch, so that's that. I think Freddie Galvis is going to be good this year. He's had a good couple of years in the past, and I think he's going to continue that over here in Baltimore. And Anthony Santander, the right fielder, he's another good bright spot to watch out for. I think he has a potential to be a great player, but only time will tell. He's still young. He has potential. This year's going to be a big year for him and what he'll do, but I don't think he'll really help out the Orioles too much. Pitching, there's really no one. That's this team's biggest problem. Bruce Zimmerman is okay, and John Means is okay, but that's about it. You have Hunter Harvey, who I don't think will do much. Tanner Scott. This team is nothing special. They won't be great. That's all I have to say, really. They're going to be a basement dweller. Coming in at fourth place, this also should not really be a surprise to some people. I have the Boston Red Sox. So as far as the record goes, I'm going to predict Boston to be, right around 69 and 93, maybe 68, 94. The team's not going to be great. They're just, again, similar to the Orioles. There's not a lot of bright spots, and they play in a great division. They're going to have to play the Yankees. They're going to have to play the Blue Jays. They're going to have to play the Rays pretty often, and those aren't going to be easy games to win. And, so that's just what I think. They're getting Alex Cora back. He's coming back off of that cheating suspension that he deserved, in my opinion. I think he deserved. I don't think any people are going to argue with that. So they're getting Alex Cora back. As far as the other parts of the roster go, Chris Sale is going to be coming back off of his injury. He didn't play much last year, if at all. And I think he'll start off slow. And if you look at his career with the Red Sox, he's put up very average to maybe below average numbers. He gets a ton of strikeouts, but he doesn't help out his team too much. That's all I got to say about Chris Sale, pretty much. You got Enrique Hernandez at second base. He'll be a good addition. You got Hunter Renfroe in the outfield. He'll be all right. Garrett Richards is with the Red Sox this year. He'll be a solid 2-3 guy. You're going to have Franchi Cordero. I think he'll be a bright prospect. You're going to have Adam Ottavino, good guy out of the pen, declining a bit with age, but nothing too bad. Marwin Gonzalez, Alex Verdugo, Bobby Dalbec, and I guess Michael Chavis are guys that I think could be middle of the pack on this team. Still good guys. Michael Chavis hit an absolute nuke the other day, and I think he'll be a good bright spot. Xander Bogaerts is returning, and JD Martinez is returning, but, they both had sleeper years last year. Couldn't really wake up. That's all I gotta say about Boston. I don't think they'll be a great team. They're not gonna be a team really worth watching, but give it 2, 3 years. They get that farm system moving. They make some trades. They have tons of money. Boston could be up with the best of the guys in the AL East. Coming in at number 3, we've got the Toronto Blue Jays. This year, playing a bit of their time in down in Dunedin, and I believe they're going to play a bit in Buffalo, but that might be wrong. I have heard that though. Yeah, I'll give the Blue Jays a cool 72-90, maybe a 75-87 record, right around there. I'd say could fluctuate with this team. They've gotten a pretty good roster in the offseason. They made some pretty good moves. I think the acquisition of George Springer was great. They're going to have Marcus Semien, who they just acquired from Oakland. Jinryu is going to be great. Kirby Yates, Steven Matz. I mean, they're going to have a good roster and some guys that they can rely on when they need to. I think they filled some of the holes that they had going into the season, and I think that'll be critical for this team. They've got Vlad, who is returning, very young guy, as we all know. I think he's a very promising prospect for the future for years to come, and I think this year could be a big year for him. Obviously, this year's got the whole 162, and not just a 60-game sprint. I think we could really see how he holds up over a longer period of time. And then we've got Bo Bichette, who has one of the most beautiful swings in all of baseball. He'll be coming in right there, playing a bit of shortstop, maybe a bit of second base for this team. And he'll be a bright spot to watch. He'll be fun to watch. Obviously, you still have Cavan Biggio, who I think is still full of potential. Nate Pearson is a pitcher who I think could be quite promising. You got Teoscar Hernandez, who's always fun to watch. He produces some monster shots. You've got Tyler Chatwood, who they acquired from the Cubs. And yeah, and you got Randall Grichuk, who's going to hit a couple home runs here and there, but that's the roster. It's a good roster if it was in literally any other division besides this division. For example, this was in the AL West or the NL East. This is a potential wildcard team, but it's just not going to happen here, and I think their roster will look, their record will look way worse than what their roster really represents. That's all I got to say about Toronto. Coming in at second place, and a team that I think is going to be back with the wild card, the team that just lost the World Series. We've got the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa lost some key pieces in the offseason. Obviously, a big one was their star pitcher, Blake Snell, who moved to San Diego. That'll be a great team that we're going to cover in the future. And I think he's going to take away a lot of that magic that Tampa Bay had. But regardless, on the roster, they've still got some bright spots. They've got Randy Arozarena, Kevin Kiermaier, G-Man Choi, Chris Archer, Tyler Glasnow. They acquired Yoshitimo Sasugo, who I think will be great. Willie Adames is an underrated guy at short. Rich Hill is a pitcher that I think still has a little bit left in him. I think he could be a pretty good and low-cost acquisition for this team. Nick Anderson's going to put up solid to above-average numbers. Michael Wacha, I think, might have a bit left in him. Brandon Lowe, I think, is poised to have a pretty good year. And other guys, I've got Austin Meadows, who is consistently year in and year out one of the more underrated MLB players and outfielders, but I think he'll continue to have a good year. He's just going to continue to be Austin Meadows, an underrated guy who puts up good numbers and is pretty good for fantasy teams. You're going to have Mike Zunino, who is catching. He'll be a good addition there. You got Joey Wendell, Mike Brosseau. That's about it. As far as the record prediction goes, I've seen some people put the Rays as high. They think the Rays are going to win 95 games. I don't think the Rays are going to win 95 games. I think they'll be up around the 88 to 90 margin. I could see them going, I could see them going 88 and 74. I could see them going 90 and 72. But that's about it. That's what I think about the Rays. They're going to be a worse team than they were last year, and I don't expect the Rays to push for another deep playoff run. And in first place, a shocker to probably no one, arguably the best team in baseball on paper, we've got the New York Yankees. The Yankees made a bit of a splash in the offseason. They got guys that I think could and will help them. Obviously, they've gotten Corey Kluber over the offseason. They got Jameson Taillon from Pittsburgh, and they're getting Domingo German back after he served a suspension for domestic violations. But I think, the Yankees are going to be a good team this year. I truthfully think that. I think they could win as much as 100 games. I don't see a reason why they can't go 162 or 105 and 57. I really don't. With the roster, they've got Corey Kluber, DJ LeMahieu, Aaron Judge, Brett Gardner, Jameson Taillon, Garrett Cole, obviously one of the best pitchers in baseball. They've got Gary Sanchez behind the dish, who is going to service that good rotation and bullpen. You've got Giancarlo Stanton, who has had a couple of rough years in the past, but I think could come back if he stays healthy. Justin Wilson's going to be a good guy that came over from the other side of New York. Like I already said, Domingo German's coming back. Darren O'Day is on the team. Luke Voigt, who led the league in home runs last season, is going to be a bright spot. Hopefully he can produce similar numbers to what he did last year. Gleyber Torres is on the team. Obviously, another underrated guy who is just going to get better the more he plays. You still have Aroldis Chapman. Clint Frazier is a guy who I think if he stays up, he put up great numbers last year when he was actually on the Yankees. And we all know he has one of the best cleat collections in all of the game. But he could be a guy I think could do some damage for this New York team. You've got Miguel Andujar, Aaron Hicks still, Tyler Wade, Jordan Montgomery, and Zach Britton. I think this team could be good. I really do. I think they could be great. Every year, they're the popular team to go with for the AL World Series push. Do I think they could do that this year? I don't know. Time will tell. I think if they can stay healthy, I think if guys like Judge and Stanton can stay healthy, and their pitching staff like Cole and Taillon they just got, and Kluber, if they can stay healthy and play like they have in years past, I think they legitimately could this year. This is one of the best Yankees teams we've seen in recent memory. Definitely the best out of the last decade combined with the first year of this decade. And I think the Yankees could have a good push. So those are my predictions for the AL East. Leave a like and subscribe if you agreed with anything I said. Leave a comment down below if you disagreed. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Chicago Karl. You'll see a lot of great stuff on there. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at chicagokarl.yt. And have a nice day. Continue to tune in to future videos. And let me know what you think down below.